A soft mist clings to the early morning hills, folding the world into a quiet shroud of possibility. The faint glow of dawn stretches slowly, like a painter's brush, tracing veins of gold across the rolling valleys and whispering rivers that weave their ancient paths through this land. Here, the air breathes stories of footsteps long past, of whispers carried by winds that cradle secrets beneath thick forests and weathered stone. Time seems to pause, inviting you to step gently, to listen closely. The smell of damp earth and pine needles mingles with distant echoes of industry and hearth, both rooted deep and ever moving forward. Light filters through skeletal trees, casting elongated shadows that sway with the wind, like silent sentinels guarding a place both wild and tender. Pennsylvania unfolds not just as geography, but as memory, a quiet pulse beneath the surface of cities and fields alike, a place where history and nature weave together in delicate embrace. Welcome to Pennsylvania. Here, the landscape shifts between emerald forests and bustling towns, where the hum of life carries a steady rhythm. In Hershey, chocolate scents hang like warm promises on a breeze, a legacy born from one man's dream to sweeten the world. Yet beyond the sweet allure lies the story of Milton Hershey's unexpected kindness. During the Great Depression, he transformed his town into a haven of hope for those struggling, providing more than just candy but a vision of community and care. As you walk these streets, listen for the laughter of children in the parks, the faint clatter of trains that once drove the heartbeat of industry, and the gentle greetings of locals who carry pride quietly like a cherished secret. Travel lightly here. Pennsylvania's spirit is one of respect, for nature's rhythms, for history's layers, for the myriad cultures woven into its fabric. Seasons shift dramatically. Summers bloom lush and warm, while winters hush the land beneath snowy blankets. Learn a few words of local warmth. A simple hello or thank you opens doors wide. And pause often, for it is in the quiet moments, the glance of sunlight on river ripples, the smell of fresh bread from a bakery, the hush of twilight settling over a field, that Pennsylvania reveals its true soul. In every corner, there's a story waiting, a path untraveled, a moment held in stillness. Step forward with care, traveler, and the journey will unfold like a whispered secret meant just for you. Hershey rises gently from the earth, a town wrapped in warmth and quiet sweetness, where the scent of cocoa drifts softly on the breeze. The streets hum with a comforting familiarity, touched by the hands of a man who dreamed not just of chocolate, but a community built on kindness and resilience. Beyond the famous candy factories lies a lesser-known tale. During the harsh years of the Great Depression, Milton Hershey opened the doors of his town to thousands of displaced workers. His generosity turned Hershey into a refuge, a rare sanctuary where hope was crafted alongside confections. This spirit still lingers in the smiles of residents, in the laughter echoing through parks, and in the gentle pace of life here. The gentle rhythm of Hershey's seasons shapes the landscape. Summers bathe in golden light, autumns ablaze with fiery leaves, winters softly blanketing the streets in white. Travelers here are invited to move slowly, to savor the small moments, the warmth of a cocoa cup in your hands, the hum of the carousel turning beneath the sky, the calm of twilight settling over chocolate-colored hills. Respect the quiet dignity of this place. Learn the local ways, a nod, a soft thank you, a pause to listen. Here, kindness is currency, and the sweetest gifts are found in simple gestures. As you wander, let Hershey's story remind you that generosity can shape a place, and that sometimes the sweetest journeys are those made with an open heart. Gettysburg rests in the quiet fold of history, where fields once thick with wildflowers now hold the weight of memory. The earth here breathes stories soaked with courage and sorrow, a place where the winds carry whispers of lives intertwined in struggle and hope. Light settles softly over rolling hills, the sun casting long shadows that stretch across grassy knolls and ancient trees, as if time itself pauses in reverence. Beneath the grandeur of monuments and markers lies a lesser-known story. The tale of the Gettysburg cyclorama, a vast 19th century painting designed to immerse viewers in the battle's heart. Created to bring history to life, it reflects a human yearning to understand pain and valor beyond dates and names. It invites you, the traveler, to step beyond surface remembrance, to feel the breath of those who stood here long ago. As you walk these grounds, notice the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant call of birds, nature's quiet counterpoint to human echoes. The town itself embraces a calm dignity, where locals carry stories with gentle pride, their voices weaving past and present. Travel here with quiet reverence. The seasons shift the landscape. Spring's renewal cloaks fields in vibrant green, while autumn's gold and crimson fold the land in warmth. Respect the solemnity, tread lightly on hallowed ground, and embrace the silence between stories. Learn the local rhythms, a nod to those who protect memory, a soft step on worn paths, and the mindful pause that honors what was and what remains. In Gettysburg, history is not just seen, it is felt deep beneath the skin, a quiet invitation to remember, reflect, and move forward with a fuller heart. Pittsburgh unfolds like a tapestry woven from steel and rivers, a city where the pulse of industry hums beneath bridges arching gracefully over water. The Allegheny, Monongahela, and Ohio rivers converge here, their currents carrying stories of transformation, from steel mills that forge America's backbone to vibrant neighborhoods that echo with diverse voices and cultures. Evening light glimmers on glass and brick, casting a golden glow that softens the city's rugged edges. Beneath the city's energetic surface lies a quiet, little-known tale. The inclined railways, century-old funiculars that climb steep hillsides, offering not just transport but a glimpse into Pittsburgh's heart. For decades, these inclines carried workers and families, their rides a daily rhythm connecting the city's pulse to its people. Today, they stand as living monuments to resilience and connection. As you wander Pittsburgh streets, inhale the mingling scents of fresh coffee, blooming flowers in city parks, and distant smokestacks softened by the afternoon haze. The neighborhoods invite slow exploration, from the vibrant murals of the North Side to the historic charm of the Strip District. Travelers here find warmth in the locals' genuine friendliness and a city proud of its working-class roots. Learn the rhythms, a nod of greeting, a smile shared on a busy street, and a willingness to savor the rich tapestry of flavors in local cuisine, from pierogies to hearty sandwiches. Seasonal shifts bring their own magic. Crisp autumns paint the hills in amber, while springs burst with renewal. Walk softly, listen closely, and Pittsburgh will reveal itself not just as a city, but as a living story of strength and heart. The Pocono Mountains rise like a quiet promise etched against the horizon, where thick forests breathe in the cool, crisp air and lakes mirror the endless sky. Mist clings to pine needles, softening the edges of jagged rocks and whispering secrets only the trees seem to know. The rhythm here is slower, deliberate, a gentle pulse woven through winding trails and serene waterways, inviting travelers to lose themselves in stillness. Beneath the canopy lies a story seldom told, that of the native Lenape people who once walked these lands, guided by the cycles of seasons and the wisdom of the forest. Their connection to this place runs deep, a subtle echo in the rustle of leaves and the quiet flow of streams. Long before cabins and ski lodges, the mountains were a sanctuary of harmony, a testament to respect between people and earth. As you wander beneath towering hemlocks and maples, notice how the light dances through branches, casting shifting mosaics on soft earth. Wildlife stirs in hidden corners. The quick dart of a squirrel, the distant call of a loon over the lake. Here, nature's language speaks in gentle sounds and muted colors. Travel lightly, honoring the delicate balance of this wilderness. Trails vary from easy strolls to rugged climbs. Choose with care and always leave no trace. Seasons sculpt the land's character. Brilliant autumn set the forest aflame with reds and golds, while winters hush the world beneath blankets of snow. Learn a few quiet customs. A respectful nod to fellow hikers, a pause to observe without disturbing, an openness to solitude. The Pocono Mountains welcome those who seek not just adventure, but a deep, soulful communion with the wild. In the stillness between rustling leaves and lapping waters, find a moment to breathe, to remember, to simply be. Philadelphia pulses with a vibrant heartbeat, where history and modern life blend beneath soaring skyscrapers and cobblestone streets. The scent of roasted coffee mingles with the faint aroma of freshly baked bread, carrying you through neighborhoods alive with stories whispered by brick walls and bustling markets. Light dances across the Delaware River, shimmering like scattered gems against a canvas of city energy. Beyond the well-worn paths of Independence Hall and Liberty Bell lies a hidden tale, that of the Mummers, Philadelphia's colorful community of performers whose origins trace back to 17th century European traditions. Each January, the Mummers Parade bursts forth in a kaleidoscope of music, dance, and handmade costumes, celebrating resilience and joy in the heart of winter's chill. Their spirit pulses beneath the city's surface all year round, a vibrant thread woven into Philadelphia's cultural fabric. As you wander through bustling markets and quiet parks, listen to the hum of voices in dozens of languages, a testament to the city's rich mosaic of cultures. Philadelphia welcomes travelers with open arms, but reminds you to walk attentively. Some neighborhoods whisper caution, others shout with life and laughter. Seasons here paint the city in vivid hues. Spring blossoms awaken shaded squares, summer hums with festivals, and autumn leaves carpet historic avenues. Learn the rhythm. A respectful nod to street vendors, patience amid busy sidewalks, a gentle curiosity for local stories. Philadelphia invites you to step beyond monuments, to feel the city's pulse in its music, its art, its unyielding spirit. In every corner, a story waits for those who listen with open hearts. Independence Hall stands as a quiet monument to revolution and hope, its red brick walls holding the breath of moments that shaped a nation. Sunlight filters through tall windows, casting soft patterns on wooden floors worn by footsteps of founders and dreamers. Outside, the square hums gently with visitors, each drawn to the weight of history held in this place of fragile beginnings. Beyond the famous signing of the Declaration of Independence, few know the story of the Liberty Bell's lesser-known twin, a bell cast but never hung, hidden away and nearly lost to time. Its silence reminds us that history is made not only by what is loudly proclaimed, but by what quietly endures. As you step lightly across the grounds, listen for the subtle rhythms of the city around you. Distant church bells, whispers of leaves, the steady pulse of footsteps echoing through centuries. Respect the solemnity here. Voices soften, cameras pause, and time seems to bow. Travelers should wear comfortable shoes and prepare for sudden changes in weather. The seasons shift quickly, with summers warm and winters brisk. A quiet patience rewards those who linger, allowing the spirit of independence and possibility to settle deep within. In this space where freedom was born, pause to breathe the stillness, to honor the past, and to carry forward its quiet courage. The Ben Franklin Bridge stretches across the Delaware like a silver thread, linking cities and histories with graceful strength. Its steel cables hum faintly in the breeze, catching the sunlight in shimmering arcs, while beneath, the river flows steady and timeless, carrying echoes of ships long departed. Standing on a pedestrian walkway, you feel the pulse of connection between past and present, north and south, city and sky. Fewer know the story of the bridge's lighting design, a quiet masterpiece of engineering and artistry. Installed in the late 20th century, its glowing cables became a symbol of renewal, casting luminous patterns that change with the seasons, celebrating Philadelphia's evolving spirit without a word. Each night, the bridge becomes a canvas, a silent storyteller for those who pause to watch. As you cross, breathe in the cool air tinged with river mist, watch the bustling waterfront life below, and feel the gentle sway beneath your feet. Travelers find here a moment of calm amidst urban energy, a chance to look outward toward the horizon and inward to reflection. Be mindful of the weather. Winds can rise unexpectedly, and the walk is long but rewarding. A pause at midspan offers views that stretch beyond the city, bridges and boats, skyscrapers and sky, a panorama of interconnected lives. Here, between steel and water, is a reminder. The bridges we build hold more than passage. They hold stories, hopes, and the quiet promise of meeting again. The Benjamin Franklin Parkway stretches like a grand, tree-lined avenue carved through the city's pulse, a ribbon of art and history weaving toward the heart of Philadelphia. Its wide sidewalks and manicured gardens invite a slow, deliberate stroll beneath the soft sway of maple and oak leaves, their whispers mingling with the distant hum of city life. Sculptures and fountains punctuate the path, each a quiet testament to creativity and remembrance. Beyond the visible beauty lies a story rarely told, of the visionary planner Jacques Grieber, who, in the early 20th century, imagined this boulevard as Philadelphia's answer to Paris's Champs-Élysées. His dream was not just for grandeur, but for connection, a place where culture, nature, and community would converge, offering a breath of openness in the urban fabric. As you walk this historic stretch, notice the interplay of light and shadow on marble facades, the murmur of water in cascading fountains, and the distant notes of street musicians filling the air with melodies that seem to echo through time. Travelers here are invited to embrace patience. The Parkway is best savored slowly, with eyes and heart wide open. Seasonal changes paint the avenue in shifting hues. Spring blossoms soften stone edges, while autumn sets leaves aflame in gold and crimson. Local customs whisper gentle reminders. Keep to the paths, respect the quiet moments of reflection, and share smiles with strangers who, like you, seek the Parkway's soulful grace. In this stretch of road and reverie, the city's spirit unfolds, a living gallery where past, present, and future meet in quiet harmony. The Washington Monument rises proudly in the midst of Philadelphia's lush greenery, a sentinel of history standing tall beneath ever-changing skies. Its stone face catches the light, weathered but resolute, a quiet reminder of ideals that have weathered storms and time. Nearby, the Philadelphia Museum of Art stands like a guardian of culture, its grand steps inviting both pilgrims of creativity and seekers of stillness. Behind these iconic landmarks is a lesser-known story, that of the annual Rocky Run, a tradition born from the famous film but embraced by locals as a celebration of endurance and spirit. Each year, runners ascend the very steps immortalized on screen, their footsteps a living echo of determination and hope, connecting past and present in a pulse of human will. As you explore the ground, breathe in the mingling sense of fresh grass and city breeze. Listen to laughter drifting from picnic blankets, and watch light play across sculptures and fountains. Travelers here are invited to move gently, to find quiet corners among the bustling energy, and to appreciate the blend of nature and artistry. Seasonal shifts bring rich textures. Spring blooms frame the monument, summer's hum of visitors, and autumn cloaks the grounds in fiery hues. Be mindful of weather changes. Shade and water are welcome companions on warm days. In this place where history, art, and everyday life meet, pause to feel the steady heartbeat beneath stone and sky, a reminder that every step holds a story waiting to be discovered. The Delaware River flows with a quiet persistence, its waters weaving a silver thread to the fabric of Pennsylvania's history. Mists rise softly in the early morning, blurring the line between water and sky, as the river carries stories whispered from centuries past, tales of trade, travel, and quiet revolutions beneath its surface. Along its banks, grasses sway gently, and the air hums with the steady rhythm of flowing life. Among the lesser-known stories tied to the Delaware is that of the Ghost Fleet, a collection of old ships once moored here, their wooden frames weathering seasons of neglect. Hidden in plain sight, these vessels became silent witnesses to change, reminders of a time when commerce thrived and the river was a bustling artery of the region's lifeblood. Walking the river's edge, you'll feel the cool breeze mingling with the scent of wet earth and salt-tinged air. Fishermen cast lines with practiced patience, while kayakers trace quiet paths through gentle currents. The river invites calm, a breath between city and countryside. Travel gently here, honoring the river's moods. It can swell with spring rains or fall into peaceful stillness in late summer. Note the seasonal migrations of birds, the wildflowers that bloom along the shore, and the delicate balance between industry and nature. Learn the local rhythms. A respectful silence near nesting grounds, a shared smile with passing boaters, a mindful step on trails worn soft by generations. In the flow of the Delaware, Time moves not in haste, but in patient, enduring grace. Manheim lies quietly in Pennsylvania's heartland, a place where time settles softly like morning fog rolling over gently rising fields. The town breathes a calm rhythm, one measured by the steady turn of seasons and the warmth of close-knit community life. Broad, open skies stretch endlessly here, their hues shifting from dawn's pale blush to twilight's deep indigo, inviting visitors to pause and breathe deeply in a world less hurried. Beneath this tranquil surface is a story seldom told beyond local ears. The tale of the Manheim Central Auction, a gathering point for generations of farmers and traders, where horses and antiques, stories and friendships alike change hands beneath wide barn roofs. This tradition, spanning over a century, weaves a delicate thread of continuity, binding past and present with respect and celebration. Walking through Manheim, you'll notice the rich scent of tilled earth mingling with the aroma of fresh-baked goods from family-run bakeries. The streets hold a quiet charm, with storefronts displaying handcrafted wares and faded signs hinting at histories layered like the worn bricks beneath your feet. Travelers here find a gentle welcome in the nods of farmers tending their fields and shopkeepers who know your name before you speak it. Listen closely to the cadence of local speech, soft and deliberate, carrying stories in every inflection. The seasons here hold their own magic. Spring paints fields in emerald. Autumn sets a horizon ablaze with amber and gold. Respect for the land and its people shapes every step. Tread lightly on farm paths, pause to greet a passing neighbor, and savor the unhurried pace of life that honors both tradition and quiet renewal. In Manheim's embrace, time slows to a whisper, inviting you to listen deeply to the heartbeats beneath its fields and stories. Lancaster unfolds like a living tapestry, with a past and present intertwined beneath a canopy of rolling farmland and weathered barns. The air carries the scent of freshly cut hay and wood smoke, mingling with the soft murmur of horse-drawn buggies tracing quiet country lanes. Light spills golden through the trees, dappling fields where Amish communities tend their lands with patient care and time-honored tradition. Beyond its pastoral beauty lies a story often overlooked, the legacy of the Conestoga wagon, born here in Lancaster County. These sturdy vehicles once traversed vast American frontiers, carrying hopes and goods into the unknown. Their design, crafted with ingenuity and resilience, mirrors the spirit of a people deeply rooted in simplicity and strength. As you wander through local markets and peaceful farms, notice the gentle rhythms of daily life, the deliberate hand stitching of quilts, the soft clatter of tools shaping wood, the quiet conversations spoken in Pennsylvania Dutch. Travelers are gently reminded to respect privacy and pace, observing customs with quiet admiration rather than intrusion. Seasons color Lancaster with tender shifts. Vibrant spring blooms, warm summer days rich with harvest, and crisp autumn evenings that set fields aflame in fiery hues. Dress comfortably for rural paths, and take moments to breathe in the natural world's slow pulse. In Lancaster's embrace, you find a place where history lives not only in museums, but in the very soil and spirit of the land, a gentle invitation to slow down, listen, and belong. Elizabethtown College's campus unfolds gently, a sanctuary of learning nestled amid rolling hills and shaded groves. The soft rustle of leaves blends with footsteps echoing along pathways lined with blooming flowers and ancient oaks, inviting quiet reflection and discovery. Morning light filters through branches, casting dappled patterns that seem to dance with the promise of knowledge and growth. A lesser-known story whispers here, that of the college's humble beginnings in 1899, founded by Mennonite leaders who envisioned a place where faith and education would walk hand in hand. This spirit of thoughtful inquiry and compassionate service pulses quietly beneath every lecture hall and library shelf, shaping generations with humility and purpose. As you wander through courtyards and green spaces, listen for the murmur of student conversations mingling with birdsong, and feel the calm energy of minds at work and rest. Travelers visiting might pause to attend a campus event or simply soak in the peaceful atmosphere that balances tradition with innovation. Seasons shift softly here. Spring brings a burst of color. Autumn cloaks the grounds in warm golds and reds, while winter's hush invites introspection beneath bare branches. A gentle respect for the space is felt, voices soften, steps slow, and time bends to the rhythm of learning and growth. In the quiet corners of Elizabethtown, the future unfolds with steady grace, inviting all who come to listen and learn. Lake Wallenpaupack shimmers quietly beneath the morning sun, its glassy surface mirroring the dance of clouds above. Surrounded by dense forests, the lake breathes a deep stillness, broken only by the gentle lap of water against weathered docks. Mist rises softly from the shore, weaving through pine needles and moss-covered stones, a fleeting veil between worlds. A lesser-known tale clings to these waters. During World War II, the lake served as a testing ground for experimental amphibious vehicles, their silent presence hidden beneath the waves. Today, the lake holds no secrets but the gentle rhythm of nature's pulse and the laughter of families discovering its calm. Visitors should tread lightly here. Respect for fragile shoreline and quietude is paramount. Early mornings offer the best peace, with songbirds and soft breezes as companions. Seasonal shifts paint the scene anew, fiery autumn leaves or summer's lush green embrace. In this mirror of sky and earth, Lake Wallenpaupack invites you to lose yourself in stillness, where every ripple tells a story of quiet endurance. Wormleysburg sits softly along the Susquehanna's edge, where gentle waters meet quiet streets lined with aged trees. The town hums with a subtle history, whispered to the rustle of leaves and the steady flow of the river. A hidden story lingers here. The town's role as a small but vital crossing point during the Revolutionary War, where courage and quiet resolve quietly shaped the tides of history. Travelers are welcomed with warmth and encouraged to walk slowly, savoring the calm that settles like a gentle breeze over this riverside village. Columbia rests along the Susquehanna like a forgotten dream, one stitched with iron, brick, and river light. Its streets whisper of an industrious past, where foundries glowed hot into night and the scent of coal smoke mixed with river breeze. Now, the town breathes more softly, its spirit lingering in the creak of antique shop floors and the warm echo of train whistles rolling across the water. Few recall that Columbia was nearly chosen as the capital of the United States. In 1790, its central location and river access made it contender, a city of hope balanced on a decision that slipped quietly away. Yet even without that title, Columbia forged a soul, one built on grit, on resilience, on the quiet pride of building with hands and heart. Stroll the streets and you'll feel time bend, gas lamps glowing faintly above brick sidewalks, murals blooming with stories of abolitionists and steelworkers, of canal boats and river ferries. The old covered bridge, once the longest in the world, stood here before flames took it during the Civil War, a fiery act to block Confederate advance. Even destruction became defiance. Travelers are invited not to rush, but to linger, to browse vintage shops and sip coffee in hidden corners where stories still live. Respect the worn beauty of this place, its history etched in soot and song, in window panes that catch the river light just right. In Columbia, the river doesn't just run, it remembers. And so must we, as we walk its banks and breathe in the quiet strength of a town that could have been anything, but chose instead to be deeply, enduringly itself. Bridgeville, tucked into Pennsylvania's rolling hills, hums with the unassuming charm of a place often passed by, yet never truly forgotten. Its name tells its purpose: a crossing, a link, a gentle invitation from one side of the valley to the other. Here, the streets curve gently, lined with weather-worn porches and laughter drifting from family-run diners where time seems to slow over coffee and conversation. Beyond the surface, there's a thread of quiet defiance that runs through Bridgeville's bones. In the early 1900s, a small union of glassworkers held their ground against rising corporate pressure, not in loud revolt, but in daily determination. Their stand, though largely lost to history's bigger headlines, helped shape the labor fabric of southwestern Pennsylvania, reminding us that resilience often wears a humble face. Walk through the town as the sun begins to dip, and the air carries a scent of cut grass and distant wood smoke. Church bells toll gently, dogs bark from shaded porches, and children's laughter echoes off brick walls. The people here do not perform their pride. They live it, in quiet work and neighborly trust. For the traveler, Bridgeville offers a moment to breathe, to visit not for spectacle, but for stillness. Observe the way light filters through the trees. Take time to learn a name or two, and let the town's easy rhythm guide you, just for a while, away from the clamor of the bigger world. Bridgeville may be small, but it stands, like the bridges it's named for, steady, spanning the spaces between where we've been and where we're gently meant to go. Lyman Run State Park lies cradled in the heart of northern Pennsylvania's forested silence, a sanctuary where trees whisper secrets and the lake holds the sky like a secret. Here, time slows the hush of pine needles beneath your boots and the soft breath of wind rustling through endless green. Morning mist often rises in gentle veils across Lyman Run Lake, a glacial stillness where loons cry and trout dart below mirrored skies. The scent of damp earth and moss lingers in the air, wrapping each breath in the grounding truth of wild things. In a forgotten corner of the park stand the remnant of an old civilian conservation corps camp, one of many that once dotted these woods during the Great Depression. Young men lived and labored here, building trails, cabins, and hope. Their laughter and sweat still echo in the logs and stone they left behind, folded now into forest. Visitors are gently urged to tread with respect. The deer are unhurried, the streams unspoiled, the silence sacred. Travel early, move slowly, carry out what you bring in. There's no rush, only rhythm. In autumn, the leaves burn gold and crimson. In winter, snow hushes every sound. And always, the park remains, a place not to conquer, but to belong to briefly. Lyman Run offers no performance, only presence. The Allegheny National Forest unfolds like a hymn to the old world, a vast cathedral of trees rising in solemn procession beneath the ever-shifting sky. Light filters through layers of canopy, dappling the forest floor in patterns that flicker and vanish like memories. The air is rich with cedar, fern, and the faint trace of rain on bark. This forest, ancient and knowing, once echoed the thundering tread of the lumber era, when towering hemlocks fell and log trains carved deep into the hills. But what many don't know is that the forest you walk today is not untouched, but reborn. After being nearly clear-cut by the early 1900s, it was reforested by hand, tree by tree, through the resolve of conservationists and workers who believed the land could heal. And it has. Now, the trails wind softly beneath regrown giants, the silence occasionally broken by the rustle of bear or fox, or the haunting call of an owl before dusk. Here, travelers are asked not to seek, but to listen. Let your pace fall into the rhythm of the forest breath. Come in autumn, when the hills blaze in 1,000 shades of fire, or in the hush of winter, when snow turns the world to a still, bright prayer. In Allegheny, you don't just walk through wilderness. You walk through restoration, through time, through something enduring and deep. The forest remembers, and if you're quiet, it may let you remember too. Wissahickon Creek winds like a quiet spell through the woods of northwest Philadelphia, cloaked in sycamores and secrets. Its waters move with a patient grace, curling around mossy stones, slipping beneath wooden footbridges, whispering to the trees in a language only the forest truly understands. This place is not merely a park. It's a threshold, a sanctuary where city noise is swallowed by the hush of green, where joggers and wanderers become pilgrims without knowing. Mist often lingers here in the early hours, draped like memory between branches, And in that stillness, the creek tells a story. Long before roads were laid, the Lenape people walked this valley, calling it Wissahickon, Catfish Stream. Later, in the 1800s, mystics and scholars of the Wissahickon school gathered in caves and hermitages beside the creek, seeking divine truth in nature's mirror. Their writing spoke of silence as scripture, water as wisdom, and the woods as a living gospel. Today, travelers still come to walk the Gorge Trail or stand beside the Toleration statue, not for spectacle, but for solace. Pack lightly, step softly, leave the birds undisturbed and the stones unturned. The beauty here is shy, best met with reverence. Wissahickon is not a place to rush through. It's a place to let go of noise, of need, of naming, and let the water carry you somewhere quieter. Harrisburg rises gently along the curve of the Susquehanna, its skyline catching light like memory catching breath. The river moves slowly here, as if pausing to remember what this place has seen. The dreams carried westward, the coal barges and canal boats, the quiet revolutions behind stone facades. Capitol domes gleam above tree-lined streets, while history lingers beneath their shadow. But beyond politics and pageantry, there is something softer in Harrisburg, a rhythm of ordinary lives lived earnestly. Children's laughter spills from parks. Street musicians fold melody into the rustle of passing leaves. And the river always waits beside it all. Few recall the flood of 1972, when Hurricane Agnes swelled the Susquehanna past its banks and into the city's heart. Water climbed stairs, filled living rooms, swept memories downstream. And yet, from the muck, Harrisburg rose again, not triumphant but tender, rebuilding in a quiet way only those who endured truly understand. Wander the walking paths beside the water, pause on Walnut Street Bridge, and watch the light shift across the current. In summer, catch a breeze from City Island or explore the small museums that guard local stories. Respect the pace here, steady, resilient, never rushed. Harrisburg is not loud. It does not shout to be seen. It simply stands riverbound and rooted, a capital not just of governance, but of grace, where strength is measured not in monuments, but in morning light and second chances. The Pennsylvania state capitol does not merely stand. It soars. Beneath its green dome, ringed in gold, it gleams like a palace plucked from a European dream and planted in American soil. Sunlight spills across marble steps and carved stone lions, where echoes of history stir beneath each footfall. Inside, opulence meets meaning. Murals breathe with allegory of justice, labor, and light. Stained glass windows scatter color like ideas, and chandeliers glitter like constellations waiting to be read. But beyond the grandeur lies a deeper story. In 1906, as the building neared completion, whispers of corruption surfaced. Contractors inflating costs, state officials turning blind eyes. It became known as the shame of Pennsylvania, until public outcry brought trials, reforms, and a new kind of clarity. The building remained, but so did the lesson. Beauty must be anchored in truth. Visitors walk its halls not just as tourists, but as witnesses. Guided tours share the artistry. Italian craftsmen, American ambition. But the walls also hum with debates, decisions, and the steady labor of democracy. Pause in the rotunda. Let your eyes trace the dome, and your thoughts stretch upward with it. This is not just a government building. It is a mirror reflecting what is and what still might be. In silence, it speaks. Bensalem rests just beyond the city's reach, close enough to feel the hum of Philadelphia, yet distant enough to breathe its own rhythm. Strip malls and quiet cul-de-sacs give way to rolling greens and pockets of stillness where history breathes just beneath the surface. Its name, Bensalem, echoes an old dream. William Penn envisioned this land as a holy peace, a harmony between belief and soil, between settlers and what was already sacred. And those centuries have scattered that dream across time. Something of it lingers still in the soft wind that passes through open fields and among the trees in the Chamonix State Park. In the 1700s, the Galloway House stood here, a hub of Quaker hospitality and abolitionist whispers. Travelers seeking shelter and safe passage found it among the quiet woods and gentle words of those who believed in freedom long before it was law. Modern Bensalem is a tapestry. Synagogues, mosques, churches, and temples all woven side by side, echoing that original hope of coexistence. You'll hear many languages spoken in the markets and see faces from many lands, all meeting in this unassuming space where roads cross and stories converge. To travel here is not bedazzled, but to be grounded. Visit Park's Casino if you must, but don't forget the old paths nearby or the river's edge at sunset. Respect the mix of new and ancient. Listen more than you speak. In Bensalem, peace is not a monument. It's a quiet thread still being stitched. The Reading Pagoda rises like a question mark on the edge of the mountain, red-roofed, unexpected, almost mythic in its silhouette. Perched above the city of Reading, it watches in silence, lanterns glowing softly against the sky, a sentinel from another world. Built in 1908 by a quarryman with vision, or perhaps a longing, the pagoda was never meant to be what it became. It was supposed to crown a luxury resort that never came to pass. The resort failed. The pagoda stayed. And so it became part of Reading's story. A Japanese-style structure atop a Pennsylvania mountain. A strange marriage of cultures and curiosities, of East and West, of permanence and change. Over the years, it has stood through war, through decay, through rediscovery. Locals once fought to save it, when others called for its demolition. Today it remains, beloved, improbable, and rooted. On a clear day, from the pagoda's perch, the whole of Berks County stretches before you, rooftops like scattered tiles, the Schuylkill River winding like a painted brushstroke. At night, it lights up in crimson and gold, casting a quiet glow over the valley, like a prayer you don't need to understand to feel. Travelers often come expecting novelty and find instead a kind of stillness. The gift shop may be closed, the stone stairs uneven, but a view remains, vast, layered, almost holy in its hush. Don't speak too loudly here. Let the wind do the talking. Let the past sit beside you a while. The pagoda may not answer the question it asks, but it reminds you that some mysteries are meant to be watched, not solved. The old brewery building stands quiet now, its bricks weathered, its windows half blind with dust and time. But once, these walls held a different kind of silence. The cool hum of fermenting barley, the clang of barrels rolled by hand, the laughter of men in aprons, soaked in the scent of yeast and sweat and pride. Set in the heart of Pennsylvania's working past, this structure isn't just abandoned. It's paused, left mid-sentence in the long, slow conversation between industry and memory. Its arched doorways still echo with the clatter of horse hooves and wagon wheels, the rise of steam in winter mornings, the murmur of deals made in back rooms over foamy pints. This was more than a place to make beer. It was where families found livelihood, where generations carved routine and ritual into their days. Workers often sang, not loud but rhythmic, as they moved among copper kettles and dark cellars. Stories said it was a cat once, kept not just for mice, but for luck, slipping between barrels like a shadow with purpose. Now ivy crawls the walls where names were once shouted across vats. The glass is broken in places, but the bones hold firm. The brewery doesn't beg for revival. It doesn't demand remembrance. It simply stands, aging patient, a monument not to what was built, but to what was shared. If you pass by, pause. You might not enter. You might only see it from the street, framed by chain link and old trees. But look longer. Let your gaze settle past the decay and into the warmth still etched in the brickwork. The heat of old fires, the stories poured out and swallowed like dark ale on cold nights. Not all ruins are forgotten. Some just choose to wait in peace. The Susquehanna River flows through Pennsylvania like a ribbon of memory, winding its way through valleys and towns, carrying stories as old as the land itself. Its waters, sometimes gentle and glassy, sometimes wild with spring flood, have shaped the lives of those who live along its banks for centuries. Long before cities and roads, the Susquehannocks called this river home, a lifeline and sacred path. Traders, settlers, and travelers followed its course, guided by the steady pulse of its current. It witnessed battles and treaties, joys and sorrows, all whispered along its shores. Today, the river remains a quiet witness. Fishermen cast their lines at dawn, mist rising like ghosts from the surface. Kayakers paddle with careful rhythm, weaving between eddies and sun-dappled rocks. Along its banks, wildflowers nod in summer breezes, and eagles circle overhead, guardians of this ancient flow. Travelers here should honor the river's moods. Summer's heat can make its currents swift and unpredictable. Fall brings a tapestry of colors reflected in its waters, a perfect time for quiet contemplation. And winter's frost wraps the banks in stillness, a pause before the flow resumes. Walk along the towpaths once used by canal boats, now soft with moss and memory. Listen to the susurrus of water. Feel the cool breath of the river air. The Susquehanna invites you not to conquer, but to follow, to move with grace, patience, and respect. In its endless journey, the river teaches us to flow forward while holding the past close, a living thread connecting land, history, and soul. Ohiopyle bursts into life where river and rock collide in a symphony of wild water and ancient stone. The Allegheny River, carved over millennia, races through gorges here, its white rapids a playground for thrill seekers and a sacred forest for those who listen deeply. The name Ohiopyle means white froth. In the language of the Lenape, an apt description of the river's tumultuous dance. This land has long been a gathering place, not just for those seeking adventure, but for the indigenous peoples who revered its power and spirit. One lesser-known story speaks of the Spirit Falls, a hidden cascade where local legends say water sprites once whispered secrets to the wind. Hikers who stumble upon it today report a strange stillness, as if time holds its breath beneath the veil of mist. Ohiopyle is both a challenge and a balm. Rafting here demands respect for nature's fierce currents, while surrounding forests invite quiet walks where the only sound is your breath and the rustle of leaves. Seasonally, this place transforms. Spring thaws swelling the river's fury, summer's green canopy offering shade and sanctuary, fall's blaze of color mirrored in the water, and winter's hush when snow muffles a roar, turning the gorge into a crystalline dream. Travelers should come prepared but open, for safety, for reverence, and for the unexpected magic that happens when wild places meet kind hearts. Here, every rapid tells a story, every stone holds a memory, and you are invited to become part of the river's timeless song. Lititz feels like a whispered secret held between rolling hills and shaded streets, where time lingers gently like the scent of fresh-baked pretzels drifting through the air. This small town, born from Moravian roots, wears its history softly, in brick facades and carefully tended gardens, a place where every corner seems to hum with stories waiting to be uncovered. In the 18th century, Lititz was a refuge of Moravians, a community grounded in faith, simplicity, and fellowship. Their legacy endures not just in the architecture, but in the quiet rhythms of daily life. The farmers' markets, the artisanal shops, the small festivals that celebrate heritage and togetherness. Few know of the mysterious Lititz Watch Company, a once thriving business that crafted timepieces for decades before quietly fading into memory. These watches, delicate and precise, were said to capture not just hours, but moments, echoing the town's own gentle passage through time. Walking the tree-lined streets, one can feel the balance between past and present. The community welcomes visitors with open arms, urging respect for their traditions and the land they cherish. Seasonal events, from spring's blooming tulips to autumn's fiery foliage, invite a slow savoring of life's simple pleasures. Travelers should take their time here, linger in cozy cafes, explore the vintage shops, and let the soft sunlight guide their steps. There's no rush in Lititz, only an invitation to pause, breathe, and listen. Here, In this quiet town, time itself seems to breathe a little slower, as if waiting to share its stories with those willing to hear. Scranton rises from the folds of Pennsylvania's hills, like a city shaped by grit and quiet resilience. Once a booming coal town, its streets carry the weight of industry, labor, and dreams etched in brick and smoke. The air still hums with stories of miners who descended into the earth, risking everything to fuel a nation's growth. Beneath the surface, tunnels run like veins, some forgotten, others whispered about in local lore. Tales of secret meetings, strikes, and hopes kindled in the dark. In Scranton's heart, the Lackawanna coal mine tour invites travelers to step back beneath the ground, into spaces where light is a distant memory and courage glows brighter than any lamp. Here, voices from the past echo, not as ghosts, but as enduring spirit. Yet Scranton is more than industry's legacy. Its streets pulse with art, music, and the warmth of communities rebuilding, redefine themselves beyond the cold dust. The historic Electric City mural tells stories in color, while local cafes invite conversation and connection. Visitors should approach with curiosity and respect. Listen to the echoes, but also the present-day rhythms. Explore the river walks, attend a show, savor pierogies in a neighborhood diner. Safety is in the company you keep, and kindness is the true currency here. Scranton is a city of endurance, where past and present weave a tapestry both rugged and tender, inviting you to become part of its ongoing story. The journey through Pennsylvania draws to a quiet close, the road behind a tapestry of memories stitched with light and shadow, story and silence. From the whispered dreams of Bensalem to the wild rapids of Ohiopyle, from the gentle streets of Lititz to the resilient heart of Scranton, this land is unfolded like a poem, one that carries the weight of history and the lightness of hope. Here, beneath the skies shifting from dawn to dusk, every place holds a secret waiting for those who listen with more than ears, with soul. As you carry these stories forward, may you feel the pulse of rivers, the hum of old factories, the laughter in small towns, and the quiet strength of nature's embrace. You are no longer merely a visitor. You are the traveler now. Let this journey linger in your breath, in the space between moments, and in the unfolding mystery of all the places yet to come. Until next time, walk gently and carry truth in your heart.